What happened that caused this equity to change? But the income statement is not the only statement that is responsible for this change. You need to, in order to see the whole picture, you need income statement, you need the statement of comprehensive income, we'll say CI, and you also need the the changes in stockholders' equity. The statement of change in stockholders' equity, SE. Okay, so these three put together, these three put together, we'll talk about the change in equity of plus 20. The other thing you could want to know is how cash has changed. So this is plus 20 cash. The plus 20 cash is described by the fifth one, which is the cash flow statement.
I think he's done great there, both reading it and dealing with it.
So there are 5 statements. And the 5 statements, one is the balance sheet, which is like the condition, financial condition. And then number 2, 3, 4 talks about how equity has changed. And finally, the cash flow statement talks about how cash has changed. And with these 5 statements, a person can know and understand what happened to a company. You might like, okay, let me pause here. Any questions? Okay, let me see. Okay, no questions so far. A quick question that might come in is that, wait a minute, what about liability? What if liability changed? Like, where is that going to show up? Okay, it so happens that I will show you later this morning, that most of how the balance sheet changes would show up in the cash flow statement. So this liability change would also show up in the cash flow statement. Okay, so don't worry, we got everything covered. And it's not only the cash here, other items like other assets too, because cash is not the only asset, right? You have other assets, and other assets are also in the cash flow statement. So the cash flow statement is basically the catch-all. Anything else that's not shown in other places will be shown in the cash flow statement. Okay? So for me, I feel, I think I have minor OCD or ADHD, I don't know. I feel like everything must be accounted for, as like a true accountant. And when you come to think of it, like cash covers everything. The cash statement covers all the other details. Okay, this is where you wake up, guys. Okay, wake up. Time to wake up. If you're like half asleep, this is the time to wake up, because this is this will help you in the exam, the formulas. Okay, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna lie and tell you like, okay, you need to use like whatever ChatGPT to help you study, or use whatever treasures or whatever thing you use. Use that, but this will help you to visualize what's going on. Okay. When they say like there's the balance sheet formula, the key formula is, of course, assets equals to liabilities plus equity. Okay, that's the basic formula. And then when I say number 2, the income statement.
And this is Torres, and this is Cruyff.
It's linked here. Okay, number 2 is the same number 2 that I wrote up ahead. The same number 2 over here. Okay, so number 2, income statement. The formula is revenues minus expenses equals to net income. Number 3. Okay, this is where you start to like learn something new for those of you who answered like 3. Comprehensive income. Okay. The statement of comprehensive income is just this. Comprehensive income is equal to net income plus OCI. Whoa.
So could they be onto
comprehensive income is just net income plus OCI. What is okay, net income this is the same one, okay? I'm not gonna lie, it's the same thing. Net income from the income statement just follows through to the statement of comprehensive income. I'm gonna put a star here for a moment, and I'll come right back, okay? Just hold that thought. Just know that it takes the number, comprehensive income, takes the net income number from the income statement, and just adds other comprehensive income. And then I'll come right back. Number 4,
40 minutes
we
gone.
have
Half-time closing in.
shareholders' equity statement. The statement of shareholders' equity simply says the ending equity of a company equals to the beginning equity plus comprehensive income plus the change in equity, other changes in equity. So what's going on is that the statement of comprehensive income follows through into the shareholders' equity statement, which also in turn goes back to the balance sheet. Okay, so equity 1 here, the ending equity, goes back to equity in the balance sheet. So it's just a flow. It's just a flow chart. In other words, it's a flow diagram. So number 2.
Deftly away. That's the end of the first
formula number 2 is used in number 3. Formula number 3 is used in number 4. Formula number 4 is used, goes back to number 1. Okay? So it flows through like that, like you see there. Okay. So yeah, let's take a look here first. For equity, what does it mean by equity? Change in equity. This change in equity simply just means stock issuances.
What a mistake!
Stock issuances.
That's going to be a goal kick.
/ buybacks.
Van der Ven. Good-looking ball.
Okay. Or cash dividends. It must be cash dividends, okay? No stock dividends. Cash dividends. So it's basically
and it's messy. Oh, good read.
Stock issuance and cash dividends is what change in equity is all about.
That is a little undercooked.
Okay.
Maldini.
And as promised, what is OCI? What is OCI? OCI is other comprehensive income.
And they are tearing the opposition apart here. Simply breathtaking stuff.
OCI.
Well, when it's pieced together as
Other
efficiently as that, it's a joy to watch.
And
Palmer, palpably stronger, better,
the definition for other comprehensive income is the change in equity
a very good conversion rate.
that excludes 1, shareholder transactions,
uncompromising, played into space,
and 2, day-to-day operations.
Leicester gets across to intercept that.
Imagine this. you look at this definition, you know, when the first time I read this definition, it looked really, really like, wow, amazing. But then the more you read it, the more frustrated you get, you know, because shareholder transactions, what is this? Shareholder transactions is just this part, you know. And what is day-to-day operations? Day-to-day operations is just your income statement part. So what OCI is, what this definition is saying is that it's everything else that is not this part and this part. That is not like it is what it is not. That's what it's trying to say. OCI is what it is not. And this definition frustrates me to no end. You guys could use AI to see whether this is still the proper definition. But anyway, my point is, it's best to understand the definition. Remember I said earlier, you know, this is an art, not a science. So people invented this. And it's best to understand what OCI is by knowing what they are, what are some examples of OCI. So the examples of OCI is foreign currency adjustments. For example, you know, exchange rate gain and losses from consolidation of your subsidiaries. There's also something such as actuarial gain and losses from defined benefit pensions. This is something which is not going to be so common anymore, because even in Thailand, there's defined benefit and defined contribution. In Thailand, we use provident funds. Provident fund is defined contribution. Defined benefit is for like those companies like government-based companies where they pay based on the number of years you work. Like in the government sector, you work for 20 years, then you get like a pension. In Thai, it's like what, Bamnan, right? My brother works at the World Bank, and he gets defined benefit. Basically, his money, the money he gets, is based on how many years he worked at the World Bank. So he was basically saying that a few years ago they increased the ceiling. So before he had to work until 60 years old to get the benefit, to get the pension, the full pension. Now he has to work until 67. In which he says, no, I don't want to do that because our dad passed away at 65. So he's like, no way. Okay, anyway. Then there's like unrealized gain and losses. Gain/loss from available for sale securities.
Great ball if he can get there. Filippo Inzaghi, he's picked his way through. Oh, he's enjoyed that. He evidently loves the contest.
Securities.
I'm struggling to work out whether that was
and slash there's also
stupid. Maybe both actually.
Gain and loss from derivatives as well. Don't put in a small derivative.
Kaká,
okay.
He's through on goal here.
So yeah.
Oh, the keeper's done wonderfully well there.
You know what?
I just thought he showed a little too much of it.
That's some good news and some bad news.
He read the situation very well.
Let's take the bad news first. These concepts you will need to know. That's the bad news. And each of these concepts, they're so detailed. You will find them on the exam in some way, some form. All of them. You will find them. And they'll be hard. They'll be very hard. Okay. I recommend you to read up a little bit. Just know the gist of it. And that brings me to the good news. The good news is that this is CFA level 2, guys. Whoa. I mean, like, when I took the exam, I wanted people to tell me that. that because you will find it on a level 1 exam, but then it's not worth your time to study it in detail, because if you open the level 2 exam just a little bit, you will see these topics in so much detail that you will wonder how you did it in level 1. And because level 2, it goes into much depth, foreign currency adjustments from like consolidation of subsidiary companies. There's the gain and loss, there's everything. Defined benefit, whoa, there's like a whole like 100 pages on that. So yeah, just keep that in back of your mind. You will see it in a few questions, but you know, if you find yourself not understanding some topics in this or this, don't worry. Just try to understand just the key concepts. And if you don't understand, this is a good area to skip. I actually recommend it's a very good area to skip. Because
that was thrilling. A game of champs and chumps.
Because as you know, it will be covered in much more detail in level 2. Okay? And that is my recommendation for this topic. Anyway, let's move on. 1, 2, 3. I should mention that I'm going to go into more detail okay, I didn't finish this yet, formulas, so I'm going to go into more detail here. Formulas, this is continued from the previous page, okay? And this is formula number 5 now. Remember, I had 5 formulas earlier, so I had these 5 formulas, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, these are the 5 formulas I had. So I went to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going on to number 5. Number 5 is the cash flow statement. This statement is like, when I took accounting, this is the one I hated the most for some reason. And then I hated it so much that like I didn't understand it at all the first time I saw it. And then the more I looked at it, the more fun it became. And now I'm like, it's my favorite subject now, my favorite topic. Okay? The cash flow statement is nothing more than a sum of the parts calculation. You know, you're adding together individual parts. You're adding together cash flow from operations, from investing, and from financing. If you know, this is operations, this is from investing, this is from financing. Okay? And the reason why I like this the most is because it's the glue that binds all the other parts of the financial statements together. Remember I said earlier here, let me move back here, the cash flow statement talks about all these other areas. Like there are other assets down here, which is like related to investing activities. There's the cash flow from financing, which are these two. Okay? And the operations, which is the income statement somewhere at the bottom. Oh. Okay? So basically, what's happening is that the cash flow statement talks about what happens to other parts of the balance sheet, and from that, you are able to find out what happens to cash, because you're finding out what happens to all the other parts. And once you know that, you can piece together the puzzle to find out what happened to cash by looking at what happened to other parts. So I think it's an amazing, it's such an awesome statement. It tells you so much about the company.
And the inevitable comparisons that go along with
that,
Peter. And are those comparisons justified?
I should also let you know that
there's pace and great technique,
but the
most outstanding quality
we're gonna go
maturity,
down a rabbit hole here, guys.
Making the right decisions. That's what
and
sets him apart.
and we're gonna this is when you get to test yourself whether you have what it takes to pass the CFA exam. Okay, whether it's what it takes to actually like this topic. Because this is something which is like the most basic thing, but it's also the most basic and the most complicated at the same time. And I think it's actually beautiful as a result. I'll show you. I'm going to split this into 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. Okay? 5.1, this is the CFO, the cash flow from operation.
Ronaldinho plays it short.
If you've taken accounting before, you will know that there are two ways to compute the CFO. There is the direct and the indirect method. Let me talk about the direct method first. Okay, so this is 5.1a. Okay, 5.1a, this is the direct method.
It's a sharp little ball here. He'll try from distance.
Funny thing, when I say that, for those of you who studied accounting, you will know there are two methods. If you're, I don't know about you guys, but for me,
Number two, then.
I'm always one lesson behind, meaning that I need my second class to understand my first class. I need my second course in accounting to understand what I studied in the last class, because I'm always one step behind. I can't catch up. I don't understand it. I understand only like when I study the next harder topic, and then so that's what happens in last year. I just realized that. Okay, this is the thing that happened to me. Like, whoa! I start to understand level 1 once I study level 2. So this class today, you know, even for those of you who studied like accounting before, this is something that, okay, refresh, okay? It helps you to really understand what's going on. The direct cash flow, in order to compute the direct cash flow from operations, it's just taking the cash collected from suppliers, from sales, not suppliers. The cash collected from sales minus the cash paid to suppliers. Okay? It's just the cash collected from sales minus the cash paid to suppliers. I think I will, this is where it gets like more and more complicated, you know? So let me try to go a bit slow here. The cash collected from sales.
Oh no, he's got that wrong.
Let's call this A1. So A1, the cash collected from sales.
Tedry. Spread it left. That's positional goals. The utilization
is equal to your sales, right? Sales. Okay. Sales or revenue. Let me just use like fancy terms. It equals to your revenue.
Really have been deserted by their composure and allowed frustration to take over, and it's not a good sign.
And what? You can't. Revenues. You can sell something by cash. If the company only sells in cash, then it just equals to revenue. But if the company takes credit card, or it basically says, oh, you can use my product first and pay me later. It just needs to deduct the revenues from. It just needs to deduct account receivable from the revenue amount. That's all. That's your cash collected from sales. So it's simple enough, right? It's quite straightforward. How much cash a company collects from sales equals its total equals its total revenues. The amount of cash collected equals its total revenues minus the amount which is sold on credit.
No, he wasn't going to let him pass.
Okay? That's pretty straightforward. This part is confusing. A2. A2 is confusing.
And it's with the keeper.
A2, okay, see if you can follow. What is the cash
It's a
paid
decent chance to
to
counter-attack.
suppliers?
Now, can they get him away? And he's managed to get free.
Okay, so you can follow me.
Roberto Carlos proves just a little bit too strong.
Think of it this way.
With the
Think of like,
Totti.
okay, subset 1. What if your supplier is your employee?
The referee's awarded a free kick.
Employee. For employees,
So, power or guile? What's it going
what
to
is
be?
it?
And now as good a
It's
time as
equal
any to
to
pull level.
your wages payable, wage expense,
That was
or
travelling.
your salary expense minus increase in wage payable. Right? Is that
Just 5 minutes
straightforward?
left until
That's
the break.
easy, right? The employee, the cash paid to employees
Jordan
equals
Henderson
to
proves too
your
strong,
wage
too
expense
smart.
minus your any amount which is still
intercepts.
payable, which is accrued. Okay, so that
It's a
equals to your
decent ball. On the
cash
through ball.
paid to employees.
And he's definitely on.
And if you look at this carefully, you start to see a pattern, right?
Ronaldinho
The pattern is
finds
this.
himself offside.
This first part is an income statement item, and the second part here is a balance sheet item. So you're taking an income statement item first,
Yamal.
and then you're adjusting it with a
And that
balance sheet
interception
item
was most necessary.
in order to
That's
get
great
a cash
positioning.
flow
So good from him.
item.
Van de Ven.
So basically, to summarize, the cash collected from sales equals to an income statement item, which is revenues, adjusted with a balance sheet item, which is accounts receivable.
So a steady, solid, and
Cash
more
paid
than
to suppliers,
satisfactory first
such as
half.
employees,
They've got the
is
lead,
equal
and
to
that gives them something to build
income
on
statement
after
item,
the
which
break.
is the wage expense,
Just ahead then.
minus the increase in wage payable, which is a balance sheet item.
I think
So you
on the
take
whole,
those
the
and make
team
those
linked up
adjustments
very
to get
well and has
the
been
cash
organised.
amount.
Hence their position. They can afford to be a little braver with the ball,
Okay.
I think. Something they'll be told many times, I'm sure,
Okay,
during the interval.
very good, right? So far, so good.
Thailand leading via the game's
Ooh, now,
opening
so
goal.
what's
1-0
so
and
hard about this? What's so hard about this?
We're on the move again.
Oh, okay.
Thailand
Just one second pause.
massive favour by
Um,
grabbing another one here. Jordan Henderson.
1 second pause.
It's a
We
perfect
just picked up
combination
a
of grain
question
and
on the
brawn.
screen. It says, is the
Jordan
note to financial
Henderson.
statement, is it a part of a financial statement? It is, sorry, sorry,
Oh, that's
sorry,
brilliantly
no.
defended,
It is a,
though. Looked
it is a
destined
part,
for a goal.
but not a separate financial statement, but not a separate financial statement. Sorry.
Well, it looks
I
like we have
answered too
ourselves a
quickly.
real game here
It
now,
is a,
Peter.
they
They've been
said
rewarded for their courage, for
an
their
integral
attitude,
part,
for their
meaning a very
application,
important
and
part,
now they want another.
but not a separate financial statement. Sorry, my first answer was incorrect.
Extracted the maximum punishment.
It's a part,
Be a lesson to
the
Peter.
notes to financial
Let's
statement is a
focus
very
at all
important
times.
part
Any
of
lapse
the
in
financial statement, but it is not a separate statement. And the reason why I say, this is a question on the
This is
Q&A,
exactly the kind of
the reason why I
contest
say
you'd
that is
expect when you have
it's a
so
very
much
important
class
part
from
because
both sides. The next goal is going to be so significant.
depreciation
And
expense
that pass just didn't quite work. Now it's
is
Messi.
found in the note.
Batistuta played out towards the right wing.
Example. There's so many
On the
interesting
defence.
like items. It's found in the notes.
Gone
It's not
all the way
found
through to the keeper.
on the financial statements. Okay.
Zielinski.
Anyway, let's move back. Okay, move back.
We're in for an intriguing
So-
second half now. Contrasting moods
So,
that could reverse in a flash.
Now, I want to give you a second example of a cash
Played into
paid to
space.
suppliers.
We've seen that early. Used
What
a certain
about the
sixth
supplier
sense.
of raw materials? Cash
It's
paid
Ronaldinho.
to
Oh,
suppliers
no,
of
no
raw materials
circumventing this
for your,
opponent.
let's say, your company. You have like a
Through into
mobile company,
space.
or you have like
This looks promising.
you sell
He's
iPhones.
picked his way through.
You're like an iPhone seller, for example. The raw materials that you use,
There's
what
a beautiful simplicity about this
what
contest.
is the-
Winning running on one side,
how do you
dogged
compute
defense on the
the
other.
cash paid to your supplier of raw materials? So
Ronaldinho.
you use the income statement item that you use is cost of goods sold, COGS.
Van Dijk.
Okay. And what do you think you adjust COGS with?
Pass their way up the pitch.
Okay.
Well measured.
Can I ask a
This is
question?
Messi.
Can you type in the Q&A, please? What do you think we adjust
Cafu.
cost of goods sold with when we want to compute the cash paid to the supplier of raw materials? Okay. My question is, what do I adjust here? So the income statement adjustment is the cost of goods sold. Okay, cost of goods sold is part of the income statement. But then you adjust it with something which is from the balance sheet. The question to you is, what do we adjust? Okay. Okay, that's great. There are many people some people say inventory, some people say payables. The answer is actually, and some people say both, which is correct. The answer is both. When you first think about it, you would think, wait a minute, okay, let's just adjust with accounts payable minus increase in accounts payable.
That is entirely justified.
Why? Because it looks like this structure, and it looks like this structure, right? It looks like the same structure. Just so you know.
Neither of these two want to come off second best.
Accounts receivable is an asset. This is a liability. This is a liability. Okay. So the expenses are adjusted by, so since these are expenses, you adjust it with the liability. Since revenues is like it adds up, you adjust it with assets. So anyway, so payables is correct for sure. But then you need to adjust it with one more thing, which is inventory. Okay, and the adjustment is you need to add with that increase in inventory. This is an asset.
Nice control.
And the big question is, what? I mean, why? What's going on? What's going on right here? Why do we need to make that adjustment?
At least it's earned a little applause from the boss. The finish was lacking, but everything
Okay,
else was pretty
and the reason for that is because this adjustment is important. Hold on, let me use another color. This one. Oh no.
Zielinski. Can he get on the end of this? It's a promising position. Tries a shot! And yes, it's there!
Okay.
เรานำ2 ลูกแล้ว
Two ahead, late in the
อะไร
day.
นะเราเป็นตัวเรียก
Sorry.
That is so good.
So why do we need to make this adjustment? What's going on here, guys?
Delicious finish.
Oh, what a finish. I mean, an instinctive finish at that. And he probably didn't even have
What I
time to
say
think
is
about
that
it too much.
if you understand financial statements, you will know that
อ้าวถึงกับ
wage expense is what you pay your employees, right? But raw material, cost of goods sold is not what you pay your supplier. It's not what you pay your supplier of your raw material. Cost of goods sold is basically how much it costs. So you need to compute the amount which is what you actually pay your suppliers. And
7 คะแนนขาดอีก
and
8
that
คะแนน
amount
เท่านั้นนะทุก
is
คน
called
4
your
นะ
purchase.
8 จาก 12
Okay.
3
This amount here is called your purchase. So this is your purchase amount. So the amount you pay your suppliers is the amount you buy from them, your purchase. So cost of goods sold plus inventory is equal to your purchase amount. And then you use accounts payable to adjust afterwards. Okay? So the question is, why does a cost of goods sold plus increase in inventory equal to your purchase? Why is that the case? Just look at this note. If you don't understand it immediately, you could just look back later on and you are less confused, because for me it took me like forever. This is the inventory formula where if you take your beginning inventory, you add what you buy, and you minus what you sell, you will get your ending inventory. Okay, so this is your basic inventory formula. And you could use this formula, and let me just convert this formula or write it in a different way. Inventory plus purchase minus cost of goods sold equals to your ending inventory. So purchase equals to cost of goods sold plus your beginning inventory minus your ending inventory, which means purchase would equal to your cost of goods sold plus your increase in inventory. So there you go. There you have it. So this formula here is the same thing as this formula right there. So that's where the formula comes from. It's basically just a formula that shows you like that equation is basically an equation used to compute how much you purchase from your supplier. Okay, so this is something to think about or something to know when you compute your cash paid to suppliers. Okay. Okay. One last thing before we move on. We're almost done. So what we will have like a break in 15 minutes. But before that break, I want to finish like a few topics. So when we have the break, you will have enough information to do the practice quiz. Okay. So let me give you like one more page of lectures. So this is the direct method. We just finished the direct method of the cash flow from operations. So it's 5.1A, direct method. Okay.
Well, what a scene we have here. There's a real
you just
buzz in the stadium.
add up all the cash that you collect from your sales and you deduct all the cash that you pay to your suppliers. The net amount you get is the cash flow from operations. So that's the direct way of computing it. 5.1B is the indirect. Is the CFO, the indirect method,
but he plays a hybrid role. He often finds
which is equal to net
and
income
that way he can control the game with
plus
his passing
increase in the
then all of a
related
sudden
assets
He can just speed the game up with his running power. And I suppose you could
minus
refer to this fella as a roaming
the decrease
playmaker.
in the related liabilities, or minus decrease, or plus increase over here.
No, he's just misjudged that one.
Okay.
Well, that is not the best ball.
What is going on here? If you look at the indirect
The
method,
pass with an intelligent run, but the pass
you
just lacked
should
pace.
find a connection. It sort of rings some bells, right? So look at the direct method slowly. You will see that the direct method has this structure whereby it takes the income statement item and it adjusts with the balance sheet item. Okay? So, come to think of it, the indirect method is actually the same structure as what I discussed with you just now. This structure is the same structure here. Okay? So, let me say it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Shame he didn't work the keeper.
Let me say it slowly again. And the assets that you deduct here is basically This is inventory, accounts receivable, and prepaid expenses. This part here is essentially accounts payable and other payables. Tax payable, salary payable. Okay. And from this structure, it tells you that the indirect method
I wouldn't fancy playing up front in these circumstances, to be honest. There's absolutely no supply.
is just combining
that's a key interception.
the cash receipts
Van der Ven kept aware
and cash payments
That's beautifully weighted. Engages
from the direct method.
off the ball. Looking here to chip it through.
So what I'm trying to say is that the indirect method is not really a new way to do it. It's just like looking at the equation from a different angle. You know, it's looking at it from like vertically. The direct method looks at it from the side. Indirect looks at it from the top. But it's the same thing. It's the same formula.
Here's someone with real dynamite in his boots.
Okay, so that's what indirect is.
McAllister. And it's De Bruyne.
Okay, that is what indirect is. But then,
Just playing it safe and simple.
for those of you who actually have the formula, or you look up the formula on AI and you say, wait a minute, this is, are you trying to pull a fast one? Because there is something which is missing, right? What's missing? The missing part is the, what about depreciation? In the formula sheet, it tells me to add back depreciation. And in the formula sheet, it also tells me to deduct any gains / add back losses from asset sales.
Oh, red, nice interception. No, it's inside.
So if I'm telling you that this formula is the same thing as above, so why do we have to make this adjustment?
Kimmich and Lewis Skelly. Kimmich.
So, okay, I do apologize that I don't have much time to describe this. But if you're interested in understanding what goes on, some people say, hey, the reason why you make this adjustment to depreciation and asset sales is because it's non-cash. That's not wrong. But from my perspective, I mean, this is my opinion, I think that's like that is like, okay, that's right, but there's a better answer in my opinion, and I think a better answer that I like, or answer that I like more, is because the reason why you make these adjustments is because
obviously a letdown in this first half. All too often we've seen
you need to adjust
because of poor decision making and just a general sloppiness. So I'm sure
you need to adjust
getting stuck into his players to
prevent
generally speaking, an entertaining half.
double counting.
The goal's a notable thing, but that's not to say it hasn't been very watchable. So straight into the second
Wait a
half.
minute. What do I mean by double
So
counting?
neither side has yet broken through.
What I mean is that if you don't take that out,
That pass isn't the best.
you will see depreciation twice.
Looking for
You
the
will
run.
see the
That's a
gain
little off
and
target.
loss from asset sales twice.
Celtic
Like what? What's going on? Wait a minute. Aren't we just picking out because it's non-cash? I said no. Non-cash is one thing, but it is important to take it out, because if you don't take it out, it already is in your
Lofted through here.
cash flow statement. And it's like, whoa,
that
what's
is
going on,
not a
guys?
great touch.
So
Yeah,
the
very
reason is
careless, and I leave it
we
at that.
take it out because if you don't take it out, it is already double counted because it is already
Whatever he had in mind, that was not it.
in the CFI, the cash flow from investing. Okay?
Whatever happens,
These, the
that's
numbers
kind
that
of
you
goal
use
which
in
raises
depreciation and in gain and loss on net sales are already in the
Just
CFI.
off target. He did
They
so
are
well
in the
there. It's just
CFI.
a shame about the accuracy.
It could be in the same year or in previous year CFI. Depends on like, you know, the depreciation rate and everything, but they're already in there. So if you don't take it out, you're going to be double counted.
Bypass the press.
Okay? So yeah, think about it. The next time you make this adjustment, think about the double counting aspect. Don't just say it's not cash, because obviously it's not cash. But then think about why it's actually must be adjusted, because if you don't adjust, you're going to double count. Okay. Oh, okay. So I have like less than 10 minutes. Let me quickly go to the next topic, which is still the same topic. We're still there. We're still here, guys. This is a long topic. So moving back, we were talking about the 5 financial statements. Okay. There are 5 financial statements, as you see here. Balance sheet, income statement, comprehensive income, stockholders' equity, cash flow statement. Okay. And just now we discussed 5.1, which is the CFO. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the CFI and the CFL. So we're going to talk about 5.2 and 5.3. So let's move on to 5.2. 5.2. Hold on. This is page 4. 5.2.
Searching passes played there.
5.2. This is the
Well, the idea was a good one.
CFI.
Of it, not quite so.
Yeah, he just
Okay.
didn't seem to get enough.
There are a few formulas you need to know. This is actually quite straightforward. The formulas to know. The first formula in the CFI is that the cash flow from investing equals to the asset sales minus assets that you purchase. Okay, so this one you get money from asset sales. This one you pay money because you buy something. So it's minus. The second formula to know about cash flow from investing is the asset sales
That has been not clear.
minus book value of the assets sold equals to the gain and loss that you get. Okay. Your asset sale amount minus how much you get from asset sales minus the book value equals to your gain and loss. That's pretty straightforward, actually.
He's shifting through the gears here.
And this asset sales amount is the same number. Okay, it's the same asset sales, so you know. And then the next formula is your PP&E, which stands for
Receives it in a good position here.
plant,
And here's Mbappe.
property,
Takes a shot.
and equipment.
And he was
Your
quick to
PP&E,
react.
the net amount, plus whatever you buy, whatever new PP&E that you buy, minus the book value sold,
Finally, the deadlock is broken.
minus depreciation,
This feeling that the game was petering out, but credit
equals to your ending PP&E.
focus despite things not going as planned. Now comes the question.
Okay, so this is another formula that will help you to compute your PP&E. And this one is, the book value is here.
So well played, Peter. Did a great job keeping sight of the ball.
It's the same book value, just so you know.
Read it perfectly.
And then finally, the last formula that you should be aware of is the PP&E, the gross amount, minus any accumulated depreciation,
Celtic are making a change now. So the first moment
equal
of
to
real
the
significance.
PP&E net amount. So just so you know again that this is the same number, net, and the, well, you can say this is also the same number. This depends on whether it's beginning or end of the period. Okay, and then the purchase here is the same purchase that you will see here.
And they've got a throw.
So for this page,
Fabulous. He's pulled him up for that challenge. Just the talking to
just know like the four formulas really well, and then understand that they are related to one another. Okay, and when you do the test, you will be able to quickly answer the question because you can see the connection between all these formulas. Just my opinion.
He's on it. Can he get away?
My personal opinion is that I find questions related to CFI, this topic here, I find this topic actually more difficult than the topic just now about direct, indirect. Direct, indirect is like, okay, there's a lot to learn, but then it's straightforward once you understand it. But for here, there's not a lot to learn, but then it's like, it becomes like a Sudoku puzzle once you try to do it. Because like they can ask just, the question can ask like one small like detail, like okay, what is the accumulated depreciation? And they give you all these other items randomly, and then you have to figure out what the accumulated depreciation is, which is so annoying. So yeah, my opinion is this one is hard. Okay, and lastly, we have 5.3, which is your CFF. CFF is easy. I'm just going to tell you like right away that it's easy, and it's actually very easy because all the questions I find with CFF, I never have a problem. They're all very straightforward. Cash flow from financing is just your increase in debt or minus decrease, plus increase in equity, minus any cash dividend. It's very straightforward. And then, start here, debt. We have to define debt because debt is basically equals to interest. Interest-bearing, meaning the liability, interest-bearing liability, which means the liability which you need to pay interest. Examples include like long-term debt, short-term debt, loans, promissory notes, ODs, or current portion of long-term debt also. Sometimes you see that, current portion of long-term debt. So the long-term debt that is due within like 1 year. Normally long-term debt is due like 5 years, right? But it's due like 1 year at a time. So when the time comes that's due in the next year, in the next like 1 year, then it's called current portion. But the key thing is that it does not include accounts payable. I think that's just the key distinction. Okay. So yeah, moving on. And the second formula is we have cash dividend equals to dividends declared minus increase in dividends payable. Okay, and then lastly, we have retained earnings at the beginning of the year.
Well, what a scene we have here. There's a real exciting buzz in the stadium, and the players on the pitch are raring to go any minute now.
Plus any net income
to that noise. This place is
minus dividends declared.
Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. So
equals to retained earnings at the end of the year.
Who do you Jim, see
Okay.
making a difference here? Well,
Just so
Peter,
you know,
I
this
really
figure
like
pictured
this
the
lad,
same one
Jules
here.
Koundé a lot. He isn't the
And this
biggest,
tattoo
but he's
with him
known for having a big
the
character
same.
that makes up for that. He's
This tattoo with him
brilliant.
is the same one as this tattoo with him. Okay. Very good.
And it's
It's
McAllister.
exactly 1 minute past 10:30.
Tries from distance.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, but during the break, please take a look at this question.
It's a pretty loose pass.
Okay,
It's
try
a
to do as
searching
much
pass.
as you can.
Oh, red. Nice interception.
Washington code. So when we come back, I will go through the answer
Hazard.
of this.
Lovely pass, but
You should
can
have
he
enough
get there?
knowledge to complete
Baresi
these
does
5
really
questions.
well to
So
win the
try to
ball
do
there.
all the 5 questions, and when we come back in 15 minutes,
In with the
I will
challenge.
go through the
Seedorf.
answer. Okay? Okay, so please try.
And it's Seedorf. And it's Yaya Toure. He might be in here.
Whoa.
Big chance. Hazard wins the duel this time.
It's so annoying. There we
So
go.
Jim, what
Okay.
has caught your eye in these early exchanges?
Well, both sides seem happy with the patient approach for now, still trying to have a good look at one another.
That has been cut short. Well, the ball just didn't work out for the run that he made.
Okay, break.
Germany clearly didn't help themselves by
Will be,
telegraphing that one.
back
It was
foul.
always going to be intercepted.
10,
That's been cut out, well played. Stamp. Roberto Carlos.
10,
Oh,
47.
really well played.
Roberto
Okay,
Carlos
please
making
try.
good
I'll be back.
progress.
Thank you.
And that is good. Super running, sharp movement. Came up against a defender, though, who was ever so determined. Whistle's gone, that's foul. McAllister taking charge of the dead ball. A real opportunity here from a position of great potential. Decent hit from there. Nicely weighted ball. And he was quick to react. Now it's Ibrahimovic. Thinks one through. And it's Hazard. Hazard purring through the gear. Chance! Plenty of endeavour from either side, but not much of it in the vicinity of either goal.
I actually think both teams are playing okay here. We've had some good attempts, although they've mounted to nothing so far.
Totti. Well, there is a look that says it all. A piercing stare.
Yeah, he just didn't seem to get enough on the pass, Peter, did he?
Decent chance! Oh, it's fallen loose again!
Yeah.
Goal! Germany! And Germany are in front. Some heroic goalkeeping, but even that couldn't save them this time.
And that's great movement from him. He instinctively knew that the ball was going to come back out and put himself where he needed to be. The sort of thing you just can't teach.
The first breakthrough.
Look, he's the one everyone expects to put the ball in the net. That's what he's paid to do.
Ball is over the line. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Well, that defending is unapologetically persistent. It's almost personal, and it had to be. Not the most accurate pass. Well, the idea was a good one. The execution of it, not quite so.
Well, the pass wasn't good enough, and he knows it.
Roberto Carlos scooting forward. Ball in towards the middle. And it's hoisted clear. Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos! And it's a goal! Ah, it's It's offside and that'll count for nothing.
And needless to say, he disagrees.
Disappointments and relief on either side, nothing doing.
Thailand truly have no need to panic. They can reassess at half-time.
Duke always looking for that half a chance. Cafu. Oh, that's wonderful alertness. And here's De Bruyne. Played out wide. That's where it came from. Yaya Toure. Well seen. Saw that coming. It's Saban. Now it's Yaya Toure. Truthfully, it was hard to see any better outcome there. No luck with that dink over the top. Looking to play him in. Goes for a shot! They have hauled themselves right back into it.
Well, you have to credit the desire there. These boys knew they were in a battle, and they did exactly what was needed to get back into it. That's going to make the boss just a little happy now. Oh, he did so.
That signals the end of the first period. Well, the glass is either half full or half empty. Neither side yet truly to impose themselves, and it's level pegging at half-time. And we are up to the break.
Well, I think keeping our neutral hats on, Peter, this is more than a decent game of football where we've seen plenty of creativity. Both sides really ought to be looking to up the urgency, though.
Well, it's been a tight game, but one that's packed with incident and talking points. A decent watch this, and it's 1-1 at half-time. Second half then, just getting going. Challenge just a bit on the firm side. Rummenigge. Oh no circumventing this opponent.
And he could have done himself a massive favour by just lifting his head up there. You know, it would have been a better picture of what was going on around him. Oh, how that cross missed everyone is an absolute mystery to me. It warranted a finishing touch.
And it's Yaya Toure. Roberto Carlos is always looking to play quality balls. Roberto Carlos. Rijkaard gets a foot in here. Rijkaard did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly willing to compromise. And Dijk calmly anticipates. He's going to be disappointed with that. And this is Ibrahimovic. Now, who's going to be first to this? And he's following up! It's there!
อย่างนี้ก็ได้เหรอวะ
Another moment of magic, a real wow moment.
Well, I think he was saying to his teammates, how dare you doubt me?
Germany leading now. Thailand really looking to get back into this at the start of the second half. Seedorf does really well there, he is strong. Koundé is the team's great visionary. Now he's got space here. So Jim, is that the manager telling the forwards that they must stay forward for now?
Well, I think he just is concentrating on the shape here, and he wants them to press as high as they can and get in the right position to do that.
I tried to attach the. I see some people having problems with the file. It should be in the email that was sent out in the invitation. If not, I tried to attach the file in the chat, in the webinar chat. So I guess you could. Oh, maybe.
Yaya Toure. Roberto Carlos. That'll be a throw-in.
Or could you, if you're still there, can you forward the...
Hazard. Looking to
with his
pass their
foul
way
in
up the
the
pitch.
chat room.
Jude knocks it into space. In towards the back stick. Oh, he's
ของ
having
จริง
a
เป็นอย่าง
goal!
นี้โอ้โห
But he's left disappointed.
McAllister really might have let his reputation get the better of him then. Yes, you can spank one from there.
Totti is flagged offside.
สูง
And that's a chance for a shot!
การให้สกรีน
Two up now, and they are cruising. Perfect placement, the one place the keeper couldn't reach.
That's just a fabulous, fabulous finish. Anything that close to the threat of the goal, 99 times out of 100, the keeper's not getting there.
So the lead now is 2.
They've seen the light, and the opposition have been left in the dark. Size really matters, and it's time to make it matter now.
Germany are looking to go forward now. Tries to play it through. That is a great pick out. Jude looking for options for movement.
จุ๊บ
Inzaghi unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. Tries one from range.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Substitution for Thailand, number 22, De Bruyne. Coming on to replace
Nesta
him
gets
is
across to intercept
number
that.
15, Neymar.
That pass isn't the best. Cannavaro cuts it out. Rummenigge is carrying after that one. Van der Ven. Can he get on the end of this? Well, he's seen that early. Used a certain sixth sense. And he's well positioned here. Yaya Toure. Now it's Hazard. Can he get it through? Gently done.
Filippo Inzaghi really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
There's a sharp little ball here. Ibrahimovic gets flagged offside.
Substitution for Thailand, number 20.
Thailand making further changes here and in quick succession.
Well, for me, this was the obvious substitution. He'd become just a little jaded, and as a result of that, he was most likely to make a mistake. I think sometimes when the body becomes tired, the brain goes with it, and I think...
Can he finish? Relentless! Just
จบกัน
relentless!
โอกาสจะเลื่อนชั้นเรา
Up by 3. They have their boots on the throats of their foes. It was a great finish. He put it away with great poise, dead-eye accuracy.
Just way too good, Peter. The keeper was never going to stop it.
So now the difference is 3. And this is Yaya Toure, and he's managed to get free. And the shot! He's got a goal! They will take that. They are absolutely ripping it up. And that's it. Well, that was thrilling. A game of champs and
อะไร
chumps.
กันครั
The
บ
winners
เนี่
were so
ยไหล
good
เล
at
ย
times.
เดี๋ยวเราจะ
A side that can and will trouble
เบรกสักครู่นะ
Okay. I do apologize for the like inconvenience. I hope you're able to locate the file. I am pretty sure a lot of you may not have enough time to do it. So let me go through the questions anyway. Just bear in mind that 5 questions. You will need to finish these 5 questions within 7.5 minutes. Okay, that's how much time it would take you. That you should schedule yourself for the real exam. So 5 questions, 7.5 minutes. Let me now go through the exam questions. I mean the quiz. Okay. So. The first question, it says, what is the net cash used by operating activities? Okay, let me go through the question, number 1 here. Okay. Wait. You guys can hear me, right? Just to make sure. You guys can hear me? Can you like say hello? Okay. Thank you. Okay, got it. Good. So for this question, notice that they didn't tell you which method to use, direct or indirect. Okay? But then from experience, you will know very quickly that if they give you just the balance sheet and the income statement like this, the easiest way to do it would be to do the indirect method. So I'll just put it down here. The indirect method. So indirect, CFO, net income, plus depreciation, minus gain, or plus loss from asset sales, plus any increase in assets, minus any decrease in liability. Okay, or plus any, or minus any decrease, plus any increase. Okay, and let's take a look. Let's take a look at where to get the numbers. First is net income. Is right here, 10,000. Okay. Depreciation is right here, 11,000. This is the notes to financial statement. So as you may be well aware that the notes is an important part of the financial statements, and you cannot disregard it. Okay. And then the next part is the gain. Gain and loss is actually a loss. So this is the loss is right here, loss. And then the next item is the increase in assets. So let me try to help compute this. So we're going to compute the change here. This is the delta or the change. We're going to look at just current assets first. So this is plus 3 minus 17. Sorry, plus 17.5 and minus 1.5. Okay, and for the liability, you will see here. The change here is plus 8.5 and minus 7.5. Okay, so we got all the numbers that we need. It's just a matter of getting those numbers and plugging the numbers in. So net income is 10, depreciation is 11, minus gain or plus loss, there's a 2 loss. Here you minus 3, minus 17.5, and plus 1.5. And for the last one, it is plus 8.5 and minus 7.5. So you add all this together, The answer you get equal to 5. So the answer is B. Okay, my opinion on this question is that if it's the first time you're going through this, it's a handful, meaning that it's like there's a lot of detail. You need to know, like, to quickly compute and know where to find things. But once you get the hang of it, this type of question is very easy. You should strive to answer all of these questions very quickly, and it shouldn't pose a problem for you. So get to the point where these questions are done very quickly. You should do it within like a minute. So this is the question that gives you time. The second question is, what is the net cash collected from sales and paid to suppliers? So, okay, cash collected would be equal to sales minus increases in AR. So what's the sales number? Let's take a look. The sales number is 240, and AR is 3, right? We already saw that. So sales is 240 minus 3 equals to 237. So yeah, it's either A or B now. So that's good. We remove one option. And the cash payments is equal to, well, to suppliers, is equal to the cost of goods sold plus inventory minus increase in accounts payable. So exactly as we discussed just now. So it is cost of goods sold. Let's look at the number, 180, okay? And then we have the inventory. Let's find it. Inventory is 17.5, and the accounts receivable is, the accounts payable is 8.5 right there. Okay, so we have all the numbers we need, and let's take a look at the answer. Cost of goods sold, 180, and plus inventory, 17.5, and minus 8.5, which gives us 189. Okay, so the answer is, there you go, 189 right there. So answer is B. This one is also a question that you should strive to do quickly and accurately. This is one of the easier questions, okay? Number 3, what is the net cash paid for all expenses other than cost of goods sold? Okay, so this one is a little bit, what's going on here? Let's take a look. Cash paid for all other expenses. Cash paid for all other expenses, okay? So for this one, the way I would do it is I would like, okay, make sure I get everything. So I structure it with the income statement item and the balance sheet item. Okay, because since cost of goods sold is already covered, it's this part. So I'm not gonna use this part. So this part is covered. I'm gonna put all other costs, which is
เรา
basically
กลับมาแล้วคนเราจะพลาดไม่ได้แล้วนะ
interest and taxes. Okay, SG&A is 40 right
เหลือ
here.
อีก2 นะ
Interest is 2, and taxes is 6.
6 คะแนน 13 คะแนน
Okay,
เราต้องการ6 คะแนนเพื่อยังอยู่ในลีกโอต่อ
so SG&A 40, interest 2, tax 6. In this question, we also have to remove depreciation, 11, and balance sheet minus decrease in prepaid expense, plus decrease in tax payable. So this would be minus 1.5 and plus 7.5. This gives you 43. The answer is E. Okay. This question on its own is a bit tricky because it's not a standard question. It is a question where it asks you to compute all the other ones. When I did it, I was considering whether it is B or C because of the depreciation part. I was wondering, wait, should I deduct it or should I not deduct it? And then at the end of the day, what I did is I used another formula to double check. So you could compute this by computing CFO, okay, equals to the cash collected minus cash paid to other supplier, minus cash paid to supplier minus cash paid to all other suppliers. So if you look at it this way, CFO, this is from question number 1. Cash collected is from question number 2. This is question number 2. This is question number 3. So if you plug in the numbers, CFO is from number 1, which is 5. And then this is 237. And this is minus 189. The answer you get here would be
Edge of the seat time here. They're placing the league at
43.
stake. Great for the neutrals.
So this is the answer
Utterly
is
unbearable for anyone with a vested interest.
43.
And the mood is
I mean,
boisterous. It is a perfect
honestly
ambience
speaking,
for the central characters who are ready now to perform.
In my opinion, this one is quite hard.
There's
No, I think it's hard
and here we go.
because
Thailand
in order to check this correctly, you'll need to know the answers for the other two. I mean, if you get it wrong, then you get this one wrong. But then for me, I just did, when I did it, I did this one first, and oh, do you want to deduct depreciation or not? And then it turns out, okay, I do because that's the only way to make the question come together properly. Okay. And number 4. What is net cash provided by investing activities is closest to? Okay, this one is a bit of a handful, but it should be manageable. So number 4,
And he should have made them pay. That's really well played.
the CFI is equal to asset sales
Chiellini cuts out the pass.
minus asset purchase.
Now it's Kvaratskhelia. Facing up to his adversary.
Okay, remember this is the first formula that I discussed.
Fermin.
And then the second formula that I talked about is
Promising build-up.
sales minus book value.
We've seen
Sold
many free
equal
roll
to
players
the
that
game.
have graced the game, but Ruud Gullit is amongst the
We only
elite.
have one thing.
No, we'd
We
argue
have
with
the
that,
game
Jim,
at
but
-2,
what
which
do
is
you
a loss,
identify
right?
as
The game here.
special in him?
Well, so physically
And what is
powerful
number?
and intimidating, and I think his
The
athleticism
number, oh sorry,
helps him get through a fierce amount of work.
Nothing quite like him in the
where
modern
did
era.
it go?
Great.
The game.
Marquinhos.
Here, sorry, this one.
Going to be disappointed with
So
that.
this is the game.
And it's Neymar.
-2, so it's a loss basically. Okay,
Gabriel
so this number here
kept his
is
eye on
the
it,
loss
and he's there. Shin
that
to
we-
shin,
that I used just
bicep to
now.
bicep, and he wins out.
So
He's made sure
so
that's
we
not
only
getting
have this
through.
one,
That's
this
destined for the
-2
flank.
here.
Thailand.
So what we have, what we're trying to get is how much is the sales number and what is the value sold. If you know the sales number, you can plug it in here.
Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was
And,
there. Now, can they get him
um,
away? Kvaratskhelia providing an
So
outlet on that
okay,
flank.
we need to dig down further.
And the men
Number
attempts
3
the clearance.
is the PP&E.
Been there, done that, unfortunately. You
So
really
PP&E
want to
is
have
0.
another go. Believe me on that.
Plus purchase minus what we sold, the book value
Chasing
sold.
after it. And claimed it back swiftly. Pull it. And here's Lautaro
minus
Martinez.
depreciation equals to PPME
Martinez
at the
unable to
beginning.
make it happen for all his great
So
intentions.
if you look at the PPME, this is the net amount.
And
Okay, look at, let me go back to that.
Cafu, good-looking ball. Juve,
What I'm going to use is the numbers from here.
it's Totti.
Okay. The numbers from the top here. It's 78,000,
ตอนนี้เราเปลี่ยนวิธีการเล่นนะครับ เล่นแบบไม่ใช้
24,000, okay.
And basically let them attack
And
it.
there's 70 and 30. This is for question number 4. Okay. And then I'm going to use the number.
And he can thump it
I'm
away.
just going to tell you which numbers I'm going to use, so I don't have to go back and forth here. And then I'm going to use
It's Rijkaard. Now it's McAllister.
the 15,000 here, which is the
Really
equipment
needed
costing
to concentrate on protecting the ball.
15,000 was
Then
sold.
again, he
Okay.
was being very
This is
closely
the
marshaled.
gross
Femi.
book,
Makalele.
the gross
scooting forward.
amount that is sold, not the book value.
McAllister.
Okay, the gross amount that is sold.
The referee has given a corner.
Okay, the gross amount sold. So
It's their second corner of the game. McAllister plays it short.
and then we have, let's see what else we have.
Try from distance. And he was
And
there to
I'm
get
also going to
a
use the
vital
depreciation
touch.
here of 11 as well.
Really must be thinking what he has to do to score there.
Okay, so using a few of these, let's see what we have.
He's shifting through the gears here. Takes a shot.
Let me just,
Risky ball, you've got to say.
this is the sold amount.
No question, this
The book
is the man
value.
you want to get onto the
Okay.
end of things.
So the net book value is equal to the gross amount minus the accumulated depreciation. Just now what we had is we had 78, and we
Nevertheless, a
had
very decent game. Pull it.
70, and then we had 24, and we had 30.
Well, that's
Okay,
really
this
good
is
play
all
on the
from the
right.
down
He's
two.
driving forward.
And then we had 11 here from the depreciation. And we
Looking
had
for the run.
15.
Swings it across.
So these are all the
Impressive
numbers
job.
that we had.
Harmlessly behind.
Okay.
It's almost like he had too much thinking time there, Peter.
Sorry, I could move this down a little bit.
Well, the idea was a good one. The execution of it, not quite so.
Well, that's down
Okay,
to
so what
a
else
simple
do we know?
miscalculation. No more,
We
no
also know
less.
that we cannot, there's no such thing as depreciation impacting the gross amount.
Cafu.
Okay, there's no such thing.
Is in a
And
really
there's
good
no such thing
position
as
out wide.
buying
Great
depreciation
ball
as
if he
well.
can get there.
So there's no such thing there.
Quite on the same wavelength.
So from this information, we can figure out the gross amount that is bought, which is 7.
So a temporary halt to the action.
Okay,
So neither team
which
were
allows
able
us
to
to
take the
figure
lead,
out
but it certainly hasn't been
here,
for
7
the
here.
lack of trying.
and then which is the
So
same
we reached
number
the
that you will
halfway
put.
point.
Well, both
Right
sides
here.
have been full of
So this
effort,
is 7.
industry, endeavour, and the stats
Okay.
are screaming
So
good
the purchase
things
amount
at
is
us.
7. That
So
is
it's
easy.
been a very good watch for the neutrals
Let
so
me
far.
write that. Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to what's to come in the second half. This could get unpredictable.
And then
So no breakthrough
you can
from
also
either
figure out
side.
the
0-0 after
how
45
much
minutes of action.
depreciation that you sold, which is 11,
We are back underway.
because there's,
First half brought no goals.
sorry, not 11. This must be 5 in order to make the equation work. Okay, in order to get 30, you need that to be 5. Okay,
Too much on it, and that is an easy claim for the keeper. Now it's
and
Clarence
then
Tries
so
to play it
you will
through.
end up with
Spread neatly. That is a brilliant
Oops, sorry.
interception. Nicely aimed pass. Gabriel gets across to intercept that. And
ลู
it's
กนี้
been
ไม่
played
พลาด
through.
อยู่ end up with it here. This
He's
is
through on
Result is 10. Result
Gabriel
10.
can get it clear.
Okay.
Most accurate pass.
And this amount here goes back to the amount we sold here.
Marquinhos kept aware, and it is reclaimed easily.
10. Okay. And this amount here gives you the amount of sales to be paid.
No luck with that dink over the top.
So now you have
Still waiting for the game to take off here. 0-0.
CFI equals to 1. So the answer is A. So in other words, you're trying to like fill in the blanks with whatever information that you have, so you can figure out how much asset is sold at the end of the day, okay, and how much asset was purchased. So you need to go through this process of figuring out like how to compute the various numbers.
Right card makes the interception.
Okay. The last question. Okay, this in my opinion, this one is hard. You know, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy. It's gonna take some time to understand,
So third quarter of the game.
to figure out. The last one, number 5. I'm so happy there's number 5 because it's quite easy. Number 5 is let me do it here. This cash flow from financing equals to long-term debt minus 15. I'm just going to write it down. Plus any decent common stock plus 16 minus cash dividend. Cash dividend is equal to dividends declared minus increase in dividends payable, and this has to be like -7. This is -0, so cash dividend is -7, and this amount just goes right there. -7, and the whole thing. Oh, how you get dividends declared? You get it from retained earnings at the beginning of the year, plus net income. This is 28 plus 20 minus dividends declared equals to retained earnings at the end of the year. So this is 31. This one will give you 7. Okay. So this gives you -6. So the answer is
just a quarter of an hour to
8.
play.
Okay. So in conclusion, number 1, 2, and 5, they're very easy. Okay. Number 3 is non-standard. It's not a standard question, and I think it's one of the hard ones. Number 4, the CFO question. This one is a standard question, but it's hard. It's just hard by the nature of the question, the nature of how you need to understand the connections. Every year I find students who can do this like intuitively. You could like figure out like in your mind, which I find to be amazing. I mean, for me, I can't do that. I just need to like put down my spreadsheet, like write it down, and then quickly fill in the blanks. And that's how I tackle number 4. Okay, so overall,
This has been a better game than the
if you
scoreline
get,
suggests.
so you must get 1, 2, and 5 right. So that would be 60%. And 3 and 4, like you hope you get one right. If you get one right, that's 80%. So you're good. You're actually very good. So yeah, that's it. There's a question in the Q&A. Can we do the direct method for question 1, 2 by using cash person as cash payment? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you could do that too. It's possible to do as well. So yeah, possible. But the question somebody asks is, could we use direct method for number 1? Yeah, it's possible, but then I think it's the long way around in this scenario. But you could use it to check as well. There's no doubt about it. Okay, guys, let's go back to the lecture. I have a bit more to lecture. We're gonna use up a whole like 3 hours here, so let me go back to the lecture portion.
Van der
Someone
Ven.
asked me to do a quick recap, so I will do that.
Oh, there's a
So
probing ball.
the material starts here on this
It
part.
is
The purpose
always
of
scanning the
FSA
pitch for
is to
targets.
determine value
Great vision.
in order to make
Cute ball. Now, how can he reach
economic
it?
decisions. So in order to determine value, you need to know financial statements, which is past information, to determine intrinsic value, which is the value you get from future
Here
cash
comes
flows.
another cross.
And then once you know that
And it's hit the
intrinsic
woodwork
value
out.
or that value, you then compare it to the market price in order to make your decision to buy, to sell, or to whatever you want to do
Terrific
with the
save from the
asset.
keeper.
Ronaldinho
And
clearly
next
thought
page
he had the beating
is
of the
I went
keeper.
through the summary 5
Well, in my
financial
opinion,
statements.
set pieces
Okay.
are 50-50
Balance sheet,
moments,
income
and this is a
statement,
rather big one,
comprehensive
and
income,
it all depends on the
stockholders' equity,
service.
and the cash flow statement. You would need to know this formula. This is the summary formula for all the major statements,
And the
okay,
keeper
1, 2, 3,
beats it
4,
away.
as you see here.
That's
Okay.
going across goal.
There is more to know about income statement as well, but then definitely look into your notes. But I think it's useful to understand the connection between these, so you understand where everything is going. Okay. Just know that OCI, the easiest way to understand OCI is to know what the examples of OCI, examples just as I wrote here, okay? But also know that OCI is, you will see questions on the level 1 exam on OCI because they have known
เราต้อง
to
ชนะ
pop
นัด
up.
สุดท้ายเพื่อให้ได้อยู่
But
ใน
then
ลี
I
ก
would
ต่อ
not
นะครับ
recommend
8
you
9
to
ถึง11
study.
โอ้ no
Like just know
ถ้าแพ้
in
ตกลีก
passing
5เลยนะ
of what it's about, but do not go into detail. And I say this because these will come out in level 2, which you will know in much detail. And then we went through the cash flow statement. So we went into detail the CFO, CFI formula, and that should be like a good chunk of your exam would be navigating the cash flow like the quiz just now. Okay, so do well on this part, and this part is one of the parts that I think is quite direct and straightforward. Okay, so try to do well on this part. Okay, and yeah, so that's basically the recap of what we discussed so far. Moving on to the next few topics, I'm going to cover a few more topics which I think are very interesting. Okay. I think this one is like, let's say, this is page 5, right? Since we talked about the cash flow from operations and the cash flow statement, I just want to talk briefly about the free cash flow. Okay, free cash flow to the firm. It's not a main focus of level 1, but you'll see much more of this on level 2. But this is something that I think it's nice to know a bit, so you can get some perspective of what's going to happen. Okay. The firm means both the debt holders and equity holders. Debt and equity holders. Okay, so basically the people who own the company. What free cash flow do they expect to get? So the free cash flow to them would be basically roughly equal to the cash flow from operations plus the cash flow from investing. I mean, wow, it's so easy, right? I mean, I think it's so easy because once you know the formula for the cash flow from operations, the formula for the cash flow statement, we're just taking the first 2 portions of the formula. You know, these first 2 portions are all you need to compute the free cash flow. Wow, right? I think it's wow because I never knew it was that easy. If you work in banking or you work in like equity or whatever, you know, this is basically the gist of it. But wait a minute, are you trying to like pull a quick one? Well, let's see.
Well, there is a
The
point
reason
in
why this
every
works is
campaign
because
of
we have
startling
assumed
clarity.
something.
No margin for error.
The
You are
assumption
faced
for
with
this,
absolutes.
the assumption
Win here,
required for
and they
this
survive.
formula to work is that we assume
Well, the stage is set
one,
for a
that the
stirring showdown
CFI
here. The supporters in great
it
voice,
consists
and there's
of
a real sense of anticipation in the air. Game
normal
on.
investing, like investing
So
that requires
straight into the action.
to manage the business, to run the business
Thailand
normally.
with just one
And number
principal
two,
objective.
the
90
interest-
minutes of action against opponents who will not give way.
The interest paid
Ronaldinho, shooting chance!
is
And he was
in
there
the
to
cash
get
flow
a
component.
vital touch. I think he's done great there,
So
both
which
reading
is
and dealing with
obviously
it.
like correct for IFRS, the international accounting standard, but it's not the case for
Tries to dink it
the
through.
US GAAP.
He's done very well to
Okay.
take that back.
So we'll see how this
Can he get it
impacts
through?
the formula in a little bit.
His positioning was
So this
spot
is,
on.
you can say that because of the first assumption, you can say that this formula is similar to CFO minus
Alessandro
CapEx.
Costa-Curta, he doesn't have what
Okay.
you call a classic centre-back physique, does he?
No,
So
but his
in other
game
words,
is
you can
never
say that
really about
FCFF is
athleticism,
just
power,
simply
physical stuff.
CFO
He never has to let
minus
it.
CapEx. But
Interesting because he's
in
still
some formulas,
become
you will see this, right?
considered one of the greatest defenders of... And the shot!
Minus CapEx.
He's done it!
What's going on here?
What's more, it's him, and we can't be surprised because
Why
his
do we
instinct
have
for doing this is
this
incredible.
portion come up all of a sudden? This is
The angle
because
was unkind, but he has hit the spot.
Listen,
very
no
simply,
one was expecting a shot
this
from
new
there.
formula
That's
assumes
quite outrageous.
the interest paid is in the CFO, which is the US GAAP.
Thailand
And tell you what,
are already chasing the game.
Tell you what,
They didn't envisage that.
this is the official formula because you know why? Most textbooks are written in the US. They are
Here's
US based.
Totti.
Like Ramadan, something like you know, all these other major valuation professors. They're US based. So this is what this is the textbook version of the formula, and the only reason why you're adding back interest is because in the US GAAP it's in the CFO, and you need to add it back because you want to know how much money is being available to the debt holders. Okay, so that's the reason why. But wait a minute, that doesn't look like textbook to me, right? So let me just show you like the precise textbook formulas. You could validate using AI and if anything that I say is wrong, let me know so I can. I've checked this several times and it's like this. So, you'll see this formula, this long-winded
Thailand
formula.
really can't go chasing this game too soon. Any rash decisions now could see them lose it.
Okay, but just so you know that this formula is actually the same thing because this part here, as we discussed just now, this is the CFO, right? We already discussed the indirect method. The formula you see here is the indirect CFO formula. Okay. And then in some textbooks they show EBIT
He's beaten the last man.
minus the tax rate plus EBIT depreciation minus working capital investment minus capex. I mean, if you want to start with EBIT, you use this formula. And maybe if you want to start with EBITDA, you use this formula.
Loose ball now, and there's a chase
Plus
on to retrieve it.
depreciation
Cafu can
times the
clear
tax
it
rate
away.
Manchester really are
minus
one of
working
these
capital
sides that
investment
pride themselves on their
minus
ability
capex.
to maintain possession.
So all these
Some would
are
say
all
that
textbook
means they play the
formulas.
game the right way.
Yeah, but of
And,
course, it's
we don't have
decisive
time
passes
today,
that's
but
going to
what you
matter
can do
in
if you could
the longer
try
term.
to,
There's no good in holding
if you
on
have
to the
time,
ball just for the sake
and
of
if you
it.
find it something that you'd like to do, if you try to derive this one from
The keeper's
this
ball.
one. You know, you could actually derive the formula. It's just a matter of like going through taking out the EBITDA from the EBIT from the net income. So they're the same thing. They're the same formula. And these are the textbook versions that you'll find. And just know that, yeah, it's basically driven from this simple equation, which is sufficient to show you what the firm is generating for its debt and equity holders.
To hold on to it, but the longer he
Okay.
did that, the more he was going to be swamped.
So yeah, that's the thing that I want to share with you.
Well, this is a great position.
And
He's
okay,
cleared it out of harm's way.
the reason why I
Eases him
had
off
to
the
talk
ball.
about the free
He's
cash flow
fouled
is
there.
because a big part of the exam is about the
That's
quality
been
of earnings.
intercepted. De Bruyne can see things.
Okay, they'll ask you, wait,
simply
which one is
cannot.
more aggressive, which one is more conservative? And you need to know, like,
In this most significant of games.
you need
เก
to
มนี้
be
3
able to
แต้มแน่นอน
distinguish,
3 แต้มแน่นอน
make the distinction.
Pressure, what pressure? He
Okay.
feels none of it.
Well, at one stage, he
I'm talking in black and white here.
and
Okay,
then the
there's
next minute, it's in the
obviously
back of
gray
the net.
area,
That's
but I'm trying to talk in
wonderful
black and white, so it's easy. So if once you know what's black and white, then it's easier to determine between the
This is
two.
exactly the kind of
And
contest you'd expect.
and okay,
class from both sides. The next goal is going to be so
let me give you a summary of what it's about. So the quality of earnings,
Can he get on
aggressive.
the end of this?
If it's aggressive, it's usually low quality.
The pass is
Conservative
intercepted.
is high quality.
And it's
Okay.
Neymar.
And low quality is usually associated with revenues
Well, the
that
defence
are-
proved infallible then.
that are
That won't be the
recognized
last they'll see of him.
early, which means that it is high.
Distributed tidily.
Okay.
Oh, that's beautifully weighted.
Conservative would definitely be late or lower.
Van Dijk.
Expenses,
Cafu.
it is associated with late recognition of expenses or low
It's an imaginative
expenses.
pass.
And
And
this
here's
is
Ronaldinho.
okay. Some examples. There's some late. This is like there's something called the completed contract method of accounting for construction,
Ambitious ball
where
here.
if you use completed contract, it's actually a conservative method.
And it's half-time.
Expenses,
So it's all square.
R&D
Neither side has
treatment.
been able to make a telling difference, but it hasn't been for the lack of
it's
trying.
usually conservative because you need
What do you
to
think we're up to after 45 minutes?
expense everything unless you prove it's already technologically feasible. But some companies may try to
I think we're in for
expense everything
exciting
first,
second half now.
just to be more conservative.
So all square at half-time.
There's also
Each
something
side
called the cost
matching the
recovery
other
method
blow
as
for
well.
blow at the break.
That's also very conservative. If you put up all the
That's
costs
the second
first.
half started.
And then
Thailand are
net
probably
income.
feeling relatively good about themselves, so I don't think the manager
As
has
a
seen
result, you
anything to
see
change
high net
in his
income.
halftime team talk.
or low when it's conservative.
Mohamed Salah. Van der Ven wins the duel this time.
Okay. And finally, cash flow.
Fernando Torres.
In this case, when we talk about cash flow, we're talking
Here's
about like,
Inzaghi.
we
Stood
talk
up
about
well to him there.
free cash
Oh,
flow,
that's well done.
which
Really
is
robust.
CFO plus CFI.
It's Ronaldinho.
โอ้โอ้โอ้
If
เกิด
you
อะไร
see
ขึ้
low,
นเนี่ย
means it's aggressive. If you see high, means it's conservative.
It's good movement though. A bit unlucky he couldn't actually steer it goalwards.
Okay. And yeah, the thing that I just need to say this is level 2 CFA, but when I went to level 2, I was like, what? It would be so useful to know in level 1 because it makes these type of questions much easier. There's a cash flow accrual formula. It's basically called cash flow accrual. It just says that net income minus
Cafu.
CFO plus
He's
CFI.
wide and looking to get onto this.
Okay. And the way you use it is if it's high,
He's done well to get that clear.
if the number is high, then it's bad.
Ronaldinho. Looking to play him in. Great ball if he
If
can
it's
get
high,
there.
it's
He has
aggressive.
found the way through.
It's aggressive. It's
เฮ้ยมัน
bad.
ไม่ได้
Stuck
แข่ง
it
เนี่ย
away.
bad is aggressive.
And they've got their lead back.
If it's low,
really is quite fabulous. All his own doing.
it's
Yeah,
conservative.
having the trust to get there is one thing. Having the
They're basically
control
just
to
like
score
using
is
these numbers
another.
and like taking the difference between those numbers. Okay. But I find this to be useful even in level 1 because there's a lot of questions about aggressive, conservative, and you want to know how to determine
things develop from here.
which is aggressive,
Look,
which
he's
is
the one
conservative.
everyone expects to put the ball in the net. That's what he's paid to do.
Okay.
Here's Here's Totti.
Let me give you like
Space for him
how
to turn and
how
look.
companies
Ball
can
comes
easily
in.
trick. I mean, this is
And he's
bonus.
there to clear it.
I'm looking at the time, but I think we have
Exactly
time,
what
so
they need to keep
I'll just give you
doing.
something
Carry on
which I
plugging
think
away
is
and eventually
useful.
you might just get that little break.
They're coming
Okay.
again and again.
You know, the interest value in this game might just take off from here. And a
Let me
shot!
put it up here.
Nearly, but not quite.
Ronaldinho is clearly kicking himself here.
This
He
is
knew
page
that
6.
was a great
So
opportunity.
this is an example. So how do we figure out what's
Filippo
aggressive?
Inzaghi looking in
I
every
mean,
way a
what is an
marked
aggressive
man at the
and
moment.
what does a
Yeah, better
conservative look like?
communication and lots of contact seems to be the
Aggressive.
route to quietening him down now.
McAllister.
Conservative.
It's quick
Okay,
to
in
return
the
it.
let's say this is a typical
Receives it in a good position
income
here.
statement. We have revenues and
McAllister.
expenses 160, 160. Okay. There's an item.
This
Sometimes
one spelled
an
danger.
item like is there's gray area in terms of how do we like account for an item. For example, suppose a company just
Not a bad
does a
try
few
by any
layoffs and they
means.
dispose
Well,
a
he's
portion of the
furious with
business.
himself,
They
but at
sold a
least the
portion of
boss
the
is
business.
applauding his effort then.
Believe it or not, selling a portion of a business, there's a lot of leeway, and a company can, depending on how they define that business, they can account for it as either unusual or infrequent. Item, which is
Manager could make a change for the first
so-called
time in the
above
game
the
here.
line, and this is income from continuing operations. And then
Well, there's a
And
probing
then after
ball.
that, there's something called discontinued operations.
Ronaldinho. That pass isn't the best.
And then there's net
Now
income.
up to 75 minutes. Juve is in a really good position out wide.
Okay, suppose
This
a
is
company
Totti.
has made some like restructuring,
That's
okay?
good defending.
The
Very
restructuring
good
costs like
defending.
20 million because they have to pay
Great
like some
running on
employees,
show
they have to
here, but
like
ultimately there was no way
incur some
through.
losses from the
Not sure
restructuring.
the shot was ever on there, really. There were just too
A
many
company
bodies
that's
in the way.
conservative will just say, hey, it's
Thailand's really
I'm
are
gonna
showing
account
all the
for that
necessary
restructuring
urgency, but it's potency they need.
unusual or infrequent item, which makes my income from continuing
Well,
operations
it's a move
20.
of great promise, but will it really prove productive?
Okay,
Well, he certainly wasn't in
and
the
then
mood to
the
take any
aggressive company
risks.
will say, wait a minute, I'm not gonna make that restructuring
Totti was
unusual or
ultimately
infrequent. I'm just gonna
faulted
get
there,
this
but it
discontinued
took a
because I
few of them to
discontinued
stop
my
it.
operation. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
put it
think
here.
it's good he took the opportunity to run at
And
that back
and
line.
and
I'm
this
sure
this
it
is
won't deter
so
him either.
different. You know why? Because in the aggressive company, you'll see like a big
Excellent challenge there,
a big
uncompromising.
amount of income from continuing, which could be misleading
Juve.
compared to a company which is
Well
conservative.
intercepted. Strong
Because
running down
when
that
you're an
left flank.
analyst, what happens
He's
is,
found a way through.
okay, first of all, you look at net income, right?
เรา
Same.
ต้องการ
Van
ชัยช
Basten
นะนะ
is
นัดนี้
sporting a
this
guilty
is the
look
same.
after
ทำไม่
that.
ได้
So no
Pass
difference in
wasn't
net
good
income.
enough, and he
The next thing you look at
knows
is
it.
the income from continuing operations, because there's something that you want to know whether the company can repeat itself.
Looking for options.
An
for
aggressive company
movement.
will just remove the restructuring and put it at the bottom,
That has been
so that
cut short.
they say, oh, that's not part of the business,
that's well
you know,
spotted.
that's not going to reflect our future earnings.
Rijkaard.
So if you do your forecast, make sure you use
Back
40.
and defending.
But then a conservative company will just say, oh,
Get the ball up front, make sure
we,
it sticks
we do
and
these type of
sustains some
restructuring
pressure.
every
สอง
year.
ประตูสองประตูสอง
We, it's not a main part of our business. I mean, it's not a main like, it's not a whole business, it's just a small part. So it's something which you should account for above the line. And yeah, you can feel free to use, to forecast our revenue using 20. And as you can see here, I mean, just a simple way that a company just allocates or defines their expenses is hugely impact how analysts like how people when they forecast the earnings, like whether it's going to be high or low. Okay. So yeah, so this is something which you should keep in mind of. And so that's why when you look into financial statements, you should definitely not just look into what they report, because the same company, like the same topic or the same type of restructuring should be treated differently depending on how the company views it. Whether it's aggressive or conservative, they could use it, they could put it in different spaces. So that's why you need to do a lot of digging and see what, like, where should it properly be located. Yeah. So that's why, I mean, this is income, right? That's why I like to leave with this quote, because I think it's an interesting quote. That people say that revenue. Oh no. Hold on. Revenue. I forgot to charge my.
That's that, the end. A draw in a must-win game, and they are down.
Hold on. Give me one moment. Okay. So revenue is vanity. Income is sanity, and cash is reality. Okay, that's my takeaway. So what they discuss up here, that's all on revenues and income. It's not yet in cash. But once you go down to cash, with all the free cash flows and everything, yeah, that's what it's really. Okay, I'm gonna go quickly through 2 more pages, and this is I like to discuss this because it's not usually taught in school. I mean, most people can wing. I mean, can actually do the test just from like graduating like a BBA or MBA, and then you can just do this. But then I found out that there's one topic which is not quite taught that often, and this is the EPS. Okay, there are 2 versions of the EPS. There's the basic or the diluted. Okay, basic or diluted EPS. Okay, so the basic EPS formula is equal to net income minus deferred dividend. Divide that by the weighted average shares outstanding. So this is the formula you should basically know. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, and beyond that, you should also know, okay, weighted average shares outstanding, WASO. You should know like the example of how to compute it. Oh, hold on, do you hear me? Do you guys still hear me? Because
there is a definite sense of
you do,
occasion
right?
here.
Just say yes or no.
To each other with fire in their eyes.
Yes, okay, good. Because what I did is I forgot. I unplugged my my earphone, so I'm talking directly to the iPad now.
Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting.
Okay. Anyway, so
just joined, you have just missed the kickoff.
for this,
Giuliano Belletti will undoubtedly have
I will give you an example of how to compute WASO, weighted average shares outstanding. Let's say a company has, at the beginning of the year, 100 shares. Okay, and on April the 1st, it issued 20 new shares. Okay, 20 new shares, and in October,
Short changes him with that pass. And that
the
pass
first,
just didn't
it-
quite work.
it repurchased
Jorginho.
10 shares.
Now it's Ricky Puig.
It bought back 10 shares. Okay?
Cafu.
So how do you compute
Jude. And here's the
the
chance
weighted
to
average
counter.
outstanding?
Cafu
This one is
ventures
very easy.
forward. That's a shame.
You should strive to do these
Cafu
questions.
is offering some sort of an apology
My tip to
there.
you is you need to draw
Knows it.
a timeline always. Well, you might be a genius, but for the rest of us,
Nothing much to report on
let's
so far.
stick to
Each
timelines.
side waiting to make
Okay.
their first move.
So yeah,
Belletti.
so you
And it's
draw.
Rijkaard.
Okay, January the 1st looks like that.
Jude proving a very adept defender. It was a good tackle too.
He's dealt with that very well, Peter. It's a real show of discipline.
Okay, January the 1st. This was that.
And this is
Then there's April the
Shevchenko.
1st. Then there's October the 1st. And then
Well, that
there's
was well
December
positioned
31st.
and well pitched.
Okay.
They can't hurt
And then,
with their backs
uh,
to goal.
Then you measure the distance between each of these dates. This is 3 months, 6 months,
Thailand so
and-
far providing no real test at all for
and
the
3
goalkeeper.
months.
Jude.
Okay. And after you do that,
Jude.
you can then compute,
Rijkaard.
because at the beginning of the year you have 100 shares.
Can he spark
Then
a
you have
counter here?
plus 20 in
Gets
April.
himself into trouble and he's lost it.
Sorry. You have
Opts for safety.
120 because you
That's a
have like
risky
100
ball,
plus
you've
that
got to
20.
say.
And then in October you have
Barcelona definitely
110.
have the look of a
Okay.
team that likes
Then you
to
can
counter-attack.
multiply by
And he's
like
clear.
3
Just
over
look at how
12
they line up.
Well, in other words,
multiply
they
by
don't
6 over
mind
12
being patient.
and multiply by 3 over 12. This is the
Lobbed in
number of
behind.
months per year that the amount is outstanding, which gives you 112.5. Okay, for those of you who have not done this type of questions yet, I will let you know that this one is, you don't use this method. Don't do this. Okay, don't do it like this. Okay,
Oh, he's been caught napping.
so it's correct,
Cafu.
but
Yeah, they were looking for a
use this
counter-attack.
instead. Use this second one instead.
Rijkaard.
Use 100.
Now Van der Ven.
You multiply
Out for a
that
throw.
by 12 over 12. It's the 12 now. It's 12, not 3. And you add it with
Crazy.
just the incremental,
Pulls
Just
out
the
once
20.
more.
okay? Multiplied by 9 over 12. It's 9 because it's how much is outstanding. And it's going to be outstanding for the next 9 months.
Rijkaard.
And
Here's the distributor in
plus-
chief, always looking for movers.
I wouldn't fancy
Sorry, not
playing up
plus.
front in
You
these
minus
circumstances, to be
10.
honest. There's absolutely
That's
no
the
supply.
repurchase.
And it's been played
So
through.
repurchase amount
That's
would
gone
at the
all
last
through to
3
the
months
keeper.
times 3. Okay. You get
Ricky
112.
Puig.
Well, same answer,
Aims beyond the defence.
but
Nakamura.
just know that the bottom method is
He's gone
much
for goal!
much more, let's say,
Caused a fair bit of alarm.
flexible, and you can use it
Certainly
in
made
many
the
many
right
more
decision
scenarios.
there to hit it first time.
Okay,
I had the
so-
feeling he might try it the way the ball arrived.
So to conclude, number 1 is not wrong.
Cafu. Pinches it
But-
off him.
2 can be used more easily.
Pass somewhat off target.
More,
Rijkaard. And it's Nakamura.
more easily
Belletti. Searching passes played
when
there.
the question is complicated.
Anyone who's joined us late, I
Have
can
the
confirm
question,
this.
like, attached.
In terms of goals, at least
And
you've missed
you
nothing.
could do that later. I won't have time to go through, but what I'll do is I'll give you the
Nakamura.
solutions
Baresi
so you can
cuts
move
it
it
out.
through.
Oh, delicate chip through. Oh,
Okay.
well played, well played.
And then
And the finish!
เกิดอะไรขึ้นเนี่ย
no
ภาพมัน
worries.
พัฒนาไม่ได้เลย
It's warning. It's doing that warning because it's hovering between like plus 10 minus 10. It's like 11%. It goes down to 9%. but I have it charged right now, so not to worry.
Saliba.
Okay,
Van Dijk. Ricky
the next page,
Oh, good spread.
almost done.
And
I
it's
mean, I have 2 more pages left, so
Baresi
the next page
hardly
is
anticipates.
what happens
Now
when
the
there's a
ball's
stock
come
split.
loose.
Weighted average
Ricky
shares outstanding
plays the game as
with
they'll try from
with
distance.
stock split
A collective sigh of relief from the defence.
or stock dividend. Okay, stock split or stock dividend. Just know that this is not a cash dividend. Okay, it's different. Basically, what happens is
Cafu.
before a split, let's say
Ricky Puig.
a company has like 4 shares,
The chip pass
and they do a
hasn't
split,
quite come off.
2-to-1 split, it now has 8 shares.
And we've reached half-time.
Okay,
It was a half of could have,
So-
should have, but as the whistle blows,
so
we
in a
remain
2-to-1
where we
split,
started. Plenty for both managers to mull over here.
each
So
shareholder
between them, no goals at all so far.
Well, this will have given them a chance to look for any
Each
potential holes
shareholder
and weaknesses in the opposition, something that will bear fruit once the teams come out again, I'm sure, Peter.
will have
Still waiting for this to take off. It's goalless at half-time.
2x more. So essentially what's going on is that a 2-to-1 split is also like a 100% stock dividend. You're getting like more shares. Okay? So let me give you the same question. Same question.
Substitutions taking place.
Except you add a 100% dividend,
So we're off again.
Well, both sides
Stock
are eager
dividend.
to get going. Here's hoping that it's a good
in
sign.
June.
Shoots! Well, the
Okay,
finish certainly didn't
so
match the
let's take a
bill.
look.
Well, you have to say,
January the
task
1st,
force,
we
it
have
caught the
100.
defence off guard because
April
of the disguise on it,
the 1st,
and it
we
makes
had 20.
all the more disappointing that
And
we didn't
in
top it off with a finish.
June the 1st, we have a 100% stock dividend. Okay. Let me just say here, not
That pass is
cash
at
dividend.
best.
It's not the same.
Mbappe thinks one
So-
through.
Okay.
Batistuta gets
And
into
then
a good position. Oh, he's been
book the
caught
first
on it
again.
here.
There's a minus
And it's
10, which is a
Rijkaard.
repurchase.
Now Odegaard.
So the way you do these
Tries
questions
one
is
from
that
away. It's bounced back off
the
the
concept
post.
that you use is you apply the stock split
Barcelona have really been terrific at snuffing
or
out the
stock
threat.
dividend.
Now for something different.
Looking to pass their way up the pitch.
retro active.
Lovely
So you
pass,
apply
but
it
can he
backwards.
get there? Now it's
Okay, you apply the
Batistuta.
stock split or stock dividend backwards.
Odegaard.
Okay.
Gauges and
So
forces him off the
what
ball.
happens is,
Well, it didn't look good for a while, but
Is,
that was brave defending, and they got
yep,
away
draw,
with it.
draw the
Well,
timeline.
I thought they got off lightly there. The odds were stacked against them.
Okay, we draw the
Skillfully
timeline.
cut out. He is so at ease on the ball.
January,
Baresi
April,
gets across to intercept
October,
that.
and December.
Towards the hour mark.
Okay, we measure the number of months, 3, 6, and 3.
No messing about, just
Okay.
bludgeoned away.
And then,
Size really matters,
We take-
and it's time
okay,
to
first
make
100.
it matter now.
sorry about the warnings,
That should get the job
plus
done.
20. This is just like the
Well, now it's a race for the
example just
ball.
now, minus 10.
Take backwards here.
And then what we do is we take the stock split,
60
you know
minutes
it's in
played.
June, and we
And
apply
it's
it backwards
Rijkaard.
like that. So this
Passes short,
100%
sharp.
dividend
He's
is just
had
like
a
multiplied by
shot.
2, multiplied by
Whistle
2.
now, and there's a chase on to retrieve it.
Okay? Which gives you,
It's a sharp
or which
pass.
gives us 200 times 12 over 12
No breakthrough and well into the
Plus
second period. It is
40.
still anyone's game.
times 9 over 12 minus 10
3 all.
times 3 over 12
Serginho.
equals to 227.5. Okay, so that's how you do questions
With
with split.
Shevchenko.
You apply it backwards.
Odegaard.
If there's a split in June, you just apply multiply it like times 2. Very simple.
A good steal there, showing a good level of alertness.
So basically, this is when you start to get confused. You might want to read this remark later on. Just know that if the split or stock dividend
Now, can they get him away?
is anytime
Van Dijk.
between
Saliba. Oh, good read.
April the
That was well
1st
played, well
and
stopped.
October the 1st.
That's a
You know,
dangerous ball.
these 2 periods.
Plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but
Okay, anytime between these 2
quite
periods,
sorted out.
the answers, you'll still get the same answer.
Looking for options for movement. And that's a good ball. Goes for a shot.
Okay,
And yes, it's
the
there.
answer will still be
เกิดตัว
That could turn out to be a huge, huge goal.
will still be
What a
227.5
time to
because
take the
they
lead.
don't really
But now
care
comes the
the
dilemma
exact
of
date.
whether
As long as it's in
to
between
hold
those 2
on or
days, then
go for it again and
the
try
formula
to
will be the
extend
same.
their advantage.
Okay,
That's
just know
always
that
been the hard
because some
road
people
to
are
in
sort of
my
confused
experience.
why do we have to like
Just
scale it
how do they
depending on
contain
the
him?
day that
Yeah,
the
he
stock
won
split
the
happened.
jostle, and it was a very good
So the way
finish, and I
the
think
way it
he'll
works
go
is that
away feeling
it doesn't
really
matter
good about
as
that.
long as it goes between those 2. Then just use this simple formula to compute
Have taken the lead.
the impact.
Look, experienced voices need to
Okay.
be heard now, along with good purpose and
okay.
urgency, and they can get right back into this.
Okay, I might go slightly over time. I think because, but I hope everything is
Keep calm and carry
But
on.
I'll try
That's
to
the job
finish.
in a nutshell now.
what I prepared because I think it's all good material. So my last page is finally
Time and again, they
we
are repelled.
reach diluted
Oh, that's
EPS.
fabulous. Now, this
Okay,
is
diluted
an adventurous
EPS.
run down that left-hand side.
So remember just now I talked about like we have like basic EPS and diluted EPS. We just covered basic, and that's the formula for basic. Now I'm going to cover diluted EPS. The formula for diluted EPS looks like this. Okay, diluted EPS is equal to, it's a very long formula, so you got to hold your breath.
Good running, strong
Okay,
and
you
purposeful.
split the line into like
Whips it
4
across.
columns.
That is good alertness.
Okay, you split
Threads
it into
one
4
in.
columns.
Now it's Mbappe.
2, 3, 4. Okay, and once you split it, just know that
Threatening ball. And he's got
the
the
first
leading
column is
wristband.
your basic EPS formula. So net income minus preferred dividend divided by weighted average shares outstanding. So
I thought
that's
it was going to happen
that
then.
first part
How
is
many
quite
more
straightforward.
chances
It's quite
can we
easy.
realistically expect now?
Okay, it's the same.
And he's managed to gift it back.
The same thing. And next, the next portions of this,
Just eases him
you
off
need
the
to
ball.
understand that
De Bruyne.
diluted EPS is
De Bruyne.
is like it's a what if.
Oh, good take in a good area.
It's a what if equation.
And that is wildly
You know, it's a
off
what if
target.
proposition. As an investor, you want to know the EPS, which is the basic EPS, which is fine. But then you also want to know whether
Can
the
he get it
company
through?
has committed
Pass.
to
Where is he?
giving any shares to anybody else.
Into stoppage time.
Because as a shareholder, you want to know what happens if for example, options or
โอ้
warrants
And
are
that will be the final act.
exercised. What happens
So
if
in the end, one goal did it.
the
An exciting encounter
convertible
where both
preferred
sides
stock is
produced a
exercised?
genuine effort to go
What
on and
happens
win it,
if
but
the
neither was able to.
convertible bonds are exercised? Okay, so this is exactly what this formula does, is it looks into each security that the company has, and it basically asks what happens if these securities were to be converted into common stock. How would EPS change if these convertible bonds, convertible preferred stock, and options and warrants were to be converted into common stock. Okay? So it's a what-if calculation. So this is the hardest part. You have to understand that diluted EPS is just what if. It's the worst case scenario, so to speak. So, okay, what if, let's go slowly now. Okay, guys, if you're hungry, grab something to drink, like grab like a cereal bar, because we're not gonna end until we're done. Okay, convertible bonds basically means, okay, what if the bonds were converted? If the bonds were converted, there will be more shares because the bonds become shares, become common stock. And the conversion will be the outstanding bonds divided by the conversion price. So you're basically adding more shares. So that's what happens when convertible bonds are converted. That's the denominator. For the numerator, you add the interest. You add the interest that of the convertible bond. Why? Because you don't have to pay interest anymore. Once the bond becomes stock, you don't have to pay interest on the bonds. And then you lose your tax savings. This part is the tax savings that you lose. So that's why you need to multiply by 1 with the tax rate, because you lose tax savings. So the next part is the convertible preferred stock. What happens when the convertible preferred stock become common stock? You add back the outstanding shares times the conversion rate. And this part essentially is basically the shares, the more common shares that you get. And when it's converted, the numerator, you just add it with the convertible preferred stock dividend.
He will always find a way. Yeah, he won the jostle, and it was a very good finish.
Because you don't have to pay any dividend on the preferred stock anymore once it converts into common stock.
So a breakthrough already.
Lastly, for options and warrants, okay, nothing happens to the numerator. In the denominator, you just add the net new shares. That occurs from exercising the warrant or the option. Okay, let me define. Just give you the formula for net new shares. Net new shares is equal to the average market price minus the exercise price divided by the average market price. So this is the average market price of the common stock. This is the exercise price. Oh, sorry. Divided by the average market price. Then you multiply by the number of options and multiply by the number of common shares that you get per option.
Now it's Totti.
Okay.
Totti. It's a really well measured ball. Coming off in quick succession.
You should note that
his positioning was spot on. That's a look and place it forward.
earnings per share will be dilutive only when average market price is greater than exercise price, which is known as being in the money. Okay? At this point, you just basically tell yourself to just go to read the derivatives part a bit more so you understand what in the money means. Okay? It's going to be dilutive only when It's in the money.
Saw that coming.
That's great
And then you
positioning.
can
So
ignore
good from him.
ignore any vesting period.
Robertson,
If there's a vesting period, meaning that
Jones,
like sometimes the company says, oh, I'm not going to pay if
Jones.
the employees don't
Just a
work
little bit too
for
strong.
5 years. You can ignore all that in this calculation.
Oh, the keeper's done
The reason is
everything
because,
well.
I learned this when I worked in
Jones
Wall
is
Street.
offering a right smile
I
there.
worked in Salmon back in
Now it's De
early
Bruyne.
2000s. And then they basically said, if a company is being taken over,
Here's Totti.
usually all the options are vested immediately.
Approaching the half-hour
So,
mark.
so when you do an M&A, like you just basically, okay, ignore the vesting period. It just gives you the worst case scenario.
สงสัยลีกที่เหมาะสมกับเราคือลีกที่
Okay.
ทุกคน
And
สู้เขาได้นะ
A bit more?
สี่ก็
A
เก่
bit
ง
more? We're almost done?
Things
Bit more?
starting to look very comfortable.
Well, now's the time you can afford
just to
be
make sure
more daring, Peter. It may be tempting to sit
We
on
know the
this,
what if
but
equation well.
I'd say
I'm just going to
go
put the
for
2
third.
stars here.
Cute ball.
Just gonna
now.
say that.
Totti!
Um,
And he can clear it away.
when these,
And collective relief.
When those
etched on the
securities-
faces of the defenders.
when they're executed,
All he needs to do is to place this between the goalposts and basically let them
sorry, not
attack it.
executed, when
Van der Ven.
they're converted
And now they can spring
or
out of
exercised,
defense.
what happens is the common stock
Jones.
increases,
That pass isn't the best.
WASO increases, therefore EPS may drop.
Well, that looks a decent
Okay.
ball.
EPS
Now it's
may drop.
Jones.
And the reason why I say may
Keeping
drop,
up the defense. Time and again they are repelled. Van Dijk does really well
may
to
drop
win
is
the ball
because
there. And it's Jones.
if you do the
Filippo
analysis,
Inzaghi. Jimenez
if you do the
calmly
calculation,
anticipates. Spread to the right. Mbappe looking to receive
and the
it in
EPS
space.
does not drop,
Shin to shin, bicep
Just
to bicep, and he wins
so
out.
just use the basic
It's
EPS
Inzaghi.
as
That's
the
positional
diluted
goal.
conversion.
The utilization of space.
Because never show a diluted
By the
EPS
manager,
which is
they're
higher than the
making
basic.
themselves too predictable.
And sometimes it may not drop because there's a numerator effect over here. Sometimes the numerator is like a large number or yeah.
Added time.
And then if it's a
Here's Totti.
sometimes you may get like a situation where it actually doesn't, it's not diluted. If it's not diluted, then
And they've got rid.
don't show a diluted EPS number which is higher than the basic EPS. Okay, that's the point.
This possibly the
Okay,
last play of the half.
guess what? I'm actually done. What I'll do next is, okay, I'll quickly answer the question here.
Short.
Can you explain what does it mean by stock repurchase? Why use minus? Okay, here, the question is, in the stock repurchase, why is it minus?
45 minutes.
The question is very valid. Stock repurchase and why minus? Okay. A stock repurchase is just the opposite of when you issue new shares.
Looking good.
When you issue new shares,
It
it's
is
plus.
2-0 at the
Okay. You issue new shares,
And we are back on the way.
is a plus because there are more shares in the market now, so you're adding more shares. But when you repurchase, you're buying back shares.
Thuram was
Oh,
alert to
yeah.
the possibilities.
But repurchase is like
It's
buyback.
fruitless.
So new shares is like issue more.
Wait, that has snuffed out the danger.
Repurchase is buyback. So it's the opposite of
Played
issuing
through for
more.
him.
Okay, so that's why you
Here's
do
on to
minus.
this.
Okay.
Oh, shooting chance.
Okay, very good. So sorry, we're over time a little bit.
Tenacity.
What I'll do now is I will send you
So,
this
third quarter of the game.
these notes, okay?
McAllister
And I will
short
also
one.
send you the solutions to the second concept check. There's also a second PDF file which you can do on your own. Okay, there are 5 questions as well. I will send you the answers to that one with this as well, and with the solution to the first one, the first quiz as well. Okay, so
Again, there's
okay, I just wanted to let you know that pleasure
Set
teaching you
now.
today. Before this, I've been teaching like a lot of this topic, but nowadays I teach a lot less. So it's a pleasure to do it once in a while. And the material I just touched is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, one last thing before we go. I know it's like so late already, but hold on. Okay, one last thing before we go is that
of the desperate variety.
wait. Anyway, just know that the exam it needs a lot of studying. Okay, but my tip is that you should one of the best ways to study is to quickly go through the material once. Okay, don't read too much. Focus on the practice exams. Okay, I'd rather have you do the practice exams like day in, day out, and then look at the textbook in the parts that you don't understand. Okay, that's the best way, in my opinion, to study for this exam, because it's more about the techniques as well. There's something about the material, but the technique in exam taking is also very, very important. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much. I'm all good. Could you have anything else to say?
ค่ะก็ขอบคุณอาจารย์วัญชานะคะที่มาสอนเราแล้วก็แบ่งปันความรู้ในวันนี้ค่ะแล้วก็เพราะว่าปีหน้าจะเป็นอาจารย์อีกครั้งหนึ่งแล้วก็ตอนนี้ค่ะสมาคมก็มี tutoring session แบบหลายๆอันในทุกๆเดือนเลยก็ฝากทุกคนนะคะติดตามได้ทาง Facebook Instagram แล้วก็ LinkedIn ของสมาคมนะคะแล้วก็วันพรุ่งนี้เราก็มีจัด tutoring เหมือนกันค่ะแต่ว่าเป็นแบบออนไซต์ที่ตลาดหลักทรัพย์ค่ะใครสนใจก็ยังสามารถลงทะเบียนกันได้อยู่นะคะแล้วก็เจอกันวันพรุ่งนี้ค่ะสำหรับวันนี้ก็ขอบคุณทุกๆคนมากเลยนะคะ
Okay,
Thank you very much, guys.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
And it's been given away. Always goal side. Totti. Great chance. It's a goal. His utter joy. He engages with absolute happiness. It was casual, it was careless, and it has proven costly.
Borussia Dortmund really were asking for trouble there by failing to cope with a formidable press.
Thailand takes a shot! And no mistake.
Yeah, and he did well not to stray offside there as well, Peter. He just seemed to instinctively know when the ball was going to be delivered, and he got it right.
And in a trice, the substitute has scored already.
That's just as the manager would have seen it.
Recording stop.
Well, they may be down, but they're in no mood to go quietly. He's found a way through. That's going to go a long way. So, Jim, is that the manager telling the forwards that they must stay forward for now?
Well, I think he just is concentrating on the shape here, and he wants them to press as high as they can and get in the right position to do that collectively. That's just playing it safe and simple.
Now it's Totti. Can he get onto this? Not a hint of offside here. He is through here.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
They get a throw in. Ferran Torres promptly onto that, and that is that. Eder Militao, now it's Valverde. That's destined for the flank.
Well, it's a move of great promise, but will it really prove productive?
Well, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. Pressing high and with purpose. Oh, it's come loose. Well, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Mbappe! Mbappe! This is Inzaghi. Good defending there. They've slammed the door in the faces of the opposition.
You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled.
Ferran Torres. Tries to play it through. And there's his chance to lead the counter. He's picked his way through. Oh, he's enjoyed that. He evidently loves the contest. And he's managed to get free. Oh, that's a foul, and the whistle's gone.
Substitution for Thailand, number 22.
Alexander-Arnold has been shown a yellow card for that offence, just to confirm.
Number 15.
Well, when the ref tells you you're going to get booked next time, you should listen.
And somehow he kept it out.
A moment to try and place the cherry on the cake.
McAllister plays it short. Oh, he's having a goal! And now a sudden chance to counter. Rijkaard, and the finish! And there's a goal! And he is just ripping it up!
เซลฟี่กันซะหน่อย
Unstoppable. Just how do they contain him?
Well, at one stage he was being body checked, Peter, and then the next minute it's in the back of the net. That's wonderful striking.
And with that, the hat-trick is complete.
This is frightening football. He has increased defensive fear on the way to that hat-trick.
Substitution for Thailand, number 20.
Thailand making further changes here, and in quick succession.
Well, for me, this was the obvious substitution. He'd become just...
Can he finish? Has fallen kindly here, and that's a sharp finish. They are getting horribly bullied, and it seems there is plenty more to come.
Well, this is turning into a real hammering now, Peter. They're demoralised.
Things looking so easy. Almost goes for a shot. That's another chance. And he's stuck it away. And it adds further to a heavily one-sided scoreline. This is
ใกล้ถึง 10 แล้วทุกคน
astonishing.
อีกนิดนึง
It's a mass exodus now. Certain sections of the stadium are leaving in droves, and you can't blame them.
He's got 4. That is remarkable. Ferran Torres threads one in. Good ball over the top. Oh, that's a bet now. It's in! And the headlines continue to get darker and darker.
Absolutely no element of fluke either. Makes this even more worrying in some ways.
ไปแล้วจะถึง 10 แล้วทุกคนจะถึง 10 แล้วเย้เคลียร์สิเคลียร์เลย90มาลุ้นกันว่าจะถึง 10 ประตูไหม
Ferran
แย่งบอล
Torres.
แย่งบอล
Inzaghi. And he was quick to react. He's shifting through the gears here. Chance!
เย้ก้าวแล้ว
And the chasm continues to widen. A brutal statement that underpins where these teams are at.
Well, I think we've reached the point when even damage limitations is no longer an option.
นี่มาเคลียร์เลยเราจะได้ยิงถึง 10 ลูกเคลียร์เลย4 3 2 1ดูสิจะทันไหมลูกที่ 10
Ferran
ว้า
Torres.
ว
He's a sharp little ball
เร็ว
here.
เร็วเร็วเร็วเร็ว
Oh
มา
no, this does
เฮ
not
โอ
look good.
อดกัน
And
โอ้
that's
ไม่
it.
ถึง10นะครับทุกคนเสียใจที่สุด
Just
เล
a
ย
thrill to witness here. Quick, slick, and such fun. You really would fear for anyone playing up against them right now. Totti, very much the man of the moment. His boots at their twinkling
โอ
best.
เค วันนี้ไว้แค่นี้นะครับ เราก็เรียนเสร็จพอดี เล่นเสร็จพอดี เรียนไปเล่นไป ขอบคุณทุกคนที่ติดตามนะครับ